Okay, beautiful. Well, thank you all for being here. My name is Sarah, and I'm so happy and grateful to be welcoming you to our very first Thriving Thursdays event here. We're going to be sharing about solutions in this time of radical transformation and transition that humanity is going through. We're going to be talking to you a little bit about our community, who we are, what we're here to do, how you can participate, what we offer, and what's the best way to get started. So I just, again, want to thank you for taking your time to be here in this moment when there's so many other things that you can be doing. And I want to get started just by asking a couple questions and kind of getting clear on, who the audience here is today and what's happening out there, because we are living in some unprecedented we're living through a human experience that has never been lived through before to a very, very, very strong degree. So I just wanted to kind of get a sense of how many of you have had your income level have had like a massive change to your income in the last 2 years, either up, down, whatever it is, that things have changed for you financially in the past 2 years since everything started to shake and rock and roll and change. And go ahead and let me know in the comments. Type a 1 if you've had some kind of radical transformation financially. And go ahead and let me know as well. Like, go ahead and just let us know what has shifted for you in the past year. What has changed? What has transformed? The good, the bad, the ugly, the celebrations, the tragedies. Because we all know that it's a crazy world out there. Beautiful. And I'm also curious if any of you have faced any tough financial decisions in the past year, like that you've had to make a decision. Oh, wow. Carrie, amazing. Carrie's like, my income went up a ton. And we have people that are not on that. I retired my husband as well. Mary Beth, beautiful. So here's my other question is have you had to make decisions financially that were not in alignment with exactly what you wanted to be experiencing? And this is the reason I'm asking this question is because I'm going to preface this here by a little bit. I'm going to rewind for a second. So what we're doing here is you've all seen the flyer, Thriving Thursdays, Economic Empowerment. And the premise here is that we are living through a time that
we're broke pieces of crap.
Because that sounds
not Thank you. That for many people, the experience that has been happening over the past 2 years has been a reduction in the sense and the experience of freedom. Meaning that for me, when I say the word freedom, what I mean is that when I am living from a place of freedom, that every single decision that I make is based on the direction that I personally want to be moving. It is based on this experience of, do I want to be making this decision right now? Is this what I want to be experiencing? Is this in alignment with where I want to be going? Or am I making this decision based on some kind of external input, some kind of external stimulus? So that external stimulus could be, am I doing something because I can or can't afford it? Like, am I not making this decision because I can't afford to do it? Or because my boss told me that I can't do it? Or because I don't have the time to do it? Or because I can't take my kids out of school long enough to be able to do that, right? So this is the premise here, is that what we are doing as a community, as a superfood social community, is that we are committed to expanding the level and experience of freedom that people are working with in these times, when so many people are kind of globally experiencing less and less and less freedom of choice. That we're here to reverse that, to really bring in more and more and more freedom of choice in many different ways, and to support people to move from the place of surviving into the place of truly thriving. And when I say thriving, what I mean is, what part of my vision and mission, the reason that I'm here, is because I feel one of the best ways that I can positively impact this world is to support more people to be able to be supported financially and physically and health wise, but especially, to be really supported foundationally so that we can step forward and shine and give our gifts, the true gifts that we have, to the world, rather than being, trying, like, working dollar for hour, trying to pay our rent, trying to, having to make sacrifices in order to, put food on the table. Or, I'm sure, has anybody here had an experience where, I've had this very many times in the past where it's like, well, should I be, can I afford to, like, get really nice, yummy, organic, healthy food for my family, or pay my car insurance, or pay for that unexpected expense that came up? Or, can I afford to do this to get a massage when I really need to, or to have, to support myself or my family in a way that I really care about? Or do I have to put that aside because something has come up unexpected? And interestingly, most Americans right now are, I can't remember the percentage, but there's a very, very, very high percentage of people who are in this category of what's called the $400 emergency, which means that if an unexpected $400 expense came up, that it could drastically and dramatically, 64%, thank you very much, Bethany Granoff, 64% of Americans are living in this, the window of the $400 emergency, meaning that if an unexpected $400 expense came up, it could drastically, dramatically, and perhaps long-term create like economic, financial ripples in their world. Now, interestingly, there's another phenomenon that's happening that I want to bring in here. And so I was seeing a lot in the comments. And if this is resonating with you, go ahead and let me know, what's your story? Have you been working with any of this in your own life? Interestingly, there's another phenomenon that for me is so beautiful and kind of like in the midst of all this intensity, this is something that cracked my heart wide open. And what I experienced was coming across this information, or this idea of the big quit, the Great Resignation. So if you're someone who's on here, if you've heard of the Great Resignation or the big quit, go ahead and type a 2 in the comments. Because when I first started to come across this information, I felt hope. I felt inspiration. I felt like standing on a box and saying, "Go humans!" Yay! And what the big quit, the Great Resignation is that in the past 2 to 3 months, over 30% of the workforce has voluntarily looked at their boss, looked at their job, and said, "Thank you very much, but I am no longer available to be participating in this economic agreement," meaning I am no longer available to be working for you in these conditions for this amount of money, because it's just not in alignment for me anymore. And we're seeing so many people with this transformation that's happening in these times, where a lot of what was thought to be stable, these jobs, these like everything that we thought to be stable is kind of like shown up as very changeable. But that in the face of this, people have really, many people have really gotten to this place inside of themselves and said, what is it that I really want in my life? What is it that I really care about? What are the decisions that I do want to be making? How have I been shackled to a system that I'm realizing is not functioning in support of my best interests and that of my family's anymore? So this is a beautiful phenomenon. And for I'm actually curious how many of you on this Zoom right now have personally participated in the Great Resignation. If you have in the last year or two actually voluntarily left your place of work to do something else, type just let us know. Type a quit, type a big quit in the comments, and let's see. I'm seeing some yeses. Yeah, because this is the beauty of this is one of the beautiful things about these kinds of like deep destabilizing transformations, is that it gives us the vision. It gives us this greater vision of what's possible, because we can no longer pretend that what we have been doing has been working enough to feel good, right? It's like, okay, like everything is just so out of hand now that I need to start to look at and say, what is my own personal responsibility in this moment? How can I align myself to my purpose in a different way? And how can I start to create income while making a positive impact in this world? How can I support others to be able to thrive, not just myself? And this is the ripple, this is the foundation. This is really the platform that we are coming through from here, which is Superfood Social, which is Thriving Thursdays, and what we're here to tell you about and share with you today. So again, thank you so much for being here. Seeing so many amazing comments. I'll have to read them before I close out the Zoom later. But we're here for the revolution. We're here to really shake things up and to step into the place of claiming our future, claiming our dreams. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of my story shortly, and you're going to hear from another woman, Rachel, who has absolutely done the same thing. And our big quit started way back in the dark ages, 7 years ago. We participated in the mini big quit 7 years ago. But before I get into these stories, I want to give just a little bit of a background and just a little overview of who we are as a community, what we're doing here, what is our purpose, like what the heck, what's going on. And I want to share with you what our Superfood Social platform is about, and also what the company and the mission that we're partnered with is about. So if you're here right now, you're here because of a beautiful, incredible, amazing, heartfelt, revolutionary, radical little company called Purium that was started over 35 years ago in the garage of our dear friend Dave Sandoval, and Dave was on a mission long before then to support humans to thrive, to get out of survival mode physically in their cellular body, in their cellular experience, in their gut experience, in their mind experience, in this physical body. And he devoted and dedicated his life to that. For the past 35 years, that has been his main, like the child that he's raising in this world. And he and his business partner, Amy Benner, started this company, Purium, 35 years ago, again, with this vision and this mission of supporting humans to really get back online and out of this hazy fog of confusion that happens when we are eating food that is toxic to us, that is literally poisoning us, and that this conventional food system that we are immersed in right now, and have been for many, many, many years, has in many ways really eroded the general ability of humans to radiate our own natural essence, to radiate our own power, to know ourselves, to love ourselves. And so this company started. Just a little side note about Dave and Amy, that if you eat, well, let me just ask you, if you're on this, if you eat organic food, if eating organic food is a priority and important to you, just type organic in the comments, because if you eat organic food, then you have already come into contact with the impact of Dave and Amy as long as you've been eating organic food, you have been receiving the benefits of these two incredible humans and their mission. Because back in the early 90s, there was actually no certified organic food. There was organic food, which was just like how natural can be, like you can have natural on labels now. Organic was just a word that you could put onto anything and everything, and there was no regulation around it. And Dave and Amy were actually at the forefront of the movement to create legislation and to create regulation around organic food to support and protect the consumers who care about what we're putting into our bodies, and who prioritize and who really understand the damage that can be done to our organism when we are eating toxic food long term. So, and also exposed to toxic chemicals in the environment and all kinds of things. So, Dave and Amy have long been a part of my life, way longer, way before I've ever heard about Purium. Dave and Amy were already supporting me to be in my own state of natural thriving myself. So I think I'm gonna go over a little bit about what the protocol that we're using here. So what we're doing within this movement, and this is more of a movement than a company. This is a movement to support, as I said, people to really return to their original blueprint internally, to step into the space of thriving. And this is happening on a physical, on a community, on a planetary, environmental, and on a financial level, that we as a community are here in service to every dimension, to every aspect, getting better, improving, and really radiating and shining out. And so what we're working with, I'm just going to give you a very, very brief breakdown on what are the principles of the actual products and protocols that we're using, so that you can get a little bit of a sense of what we do and how this impacts the human body. So we have now in our modern world, which is, again, like an interesting place to be living. We have a lot of navigation to do in this world that we're living now. But most people on this earth at this point are dealing with these three fundamental challenges physically. The first is undernourishment, that people who eat the standard American diet, and many people who put tons and tons of time and effort and thought and energy towards eating a very amazing, clean, local, organic diet, most people are still undernourished. And when I say undernourished, I mean nutrient wise, that most cells in our modern world are highly undernourished and are not receiving the depth of nutrient saturation that we need in order to be optimizing the functions in our body. So the second piece is that most people are exposed, and I say most, I mean, I would say all, but maybe there's one or two out there that aren't, but most people are exposed to extremely high levels of toxic load that are a byproduct of so many of the different things that are going on both in our food system and in our in our world in general, with industrialization and modernization, and even EMFs and all these things that we're exposed to that are not harmonizing, that they don't have a place in our system. Our bodies don't know how to process them, how to take them out, and they get stuck and they form like layers of different toxicity that are very, very harmful and damaging to our system. And the third piece is that most people in our world now have some kind of compromise that their gut microbiome, and if you're familiar with this idea that the gut is the second brain, and the gut is really where serotonin is produced, and if you've ever even thought about that you've got a gut feeling about something, that our gut is intelligent. This is a place where we move from when we're in our power, and that our gut microbiome has been degraded. Again, much of it has to do with a lot of the toxicity that is actually sprayed on our food that we consume. And even if you're eating organic food, there is so much cross-contamination that happens that even if you are eating strictly organic food and you're not ever out of your bubble, and you never eat out at a restaurant, and you're still getting it through the air and the water. And one of the things that I really want to bring in here is glyphosate, which is the main ingredient in Roundup. So if you've heard of glyphosate, or you've come across any information about glyphosate, go ahead and let us know in the comments, because this is a chemical that is known to literally wreak havoc on and destroy our gut microbiome, among many, many, many other intense things. And so yeah, drop some professors, drop some glyphosate knowledge in the comments. So what do we do about this? So we know that there's this incredible, we have this crazy breakdown of the financial system that's happening. We're having this crazy breakdown of the food system, of the human body system. So what are we here to do about that? Well, one of the things that we do as a community is we support at this point, I've personally supported over 50,000 people through my business to either indirectly or directly transform their lives through these superfood protocols that we have that were designed and manufactured and produced by Dave and Amy. And what these protocols do is that they systematically go through and super saturate the body with nutrients. So we're talking about beyond, like the products are tested way beyond organic, very, very rigorous testing. They're grown in regenerative soils that have like incredibly high nutrient dense soils that we actually feed the plants, as opposed to most of the soil that food is grown in now, which is very depleted. And the way that they're processed, live dehydrated and processed right there on the farms, that there's very little loss of nutrient in the products themselves. Whereas when you eat food from the store, it's usually shipped for many, many, many miles, thousands of miles, and refrigerated and all these things. And so by the time you get your organic carrot into your body that you bought at the health food store, it has probably 5 to 10% of the original nutrients that were in that food when it was first harvested. So we have a proprietary method of delivering these highly bioavailable nutrients right directly into your body with no time, no prep, no thought. It's like you just add water and you take it, and it's basically like drinking liquid sunshine. It goes and activates your cell, it activates your body on a cellular level. So the second piece is that we remove these deep levels of toxicity through doing we go into deep levels of detoxification, but we also just on a daily basis, using these products, incorporating them into your life long term, there's a cumulative effect that your body's actually receiving what it needs so it can start to let go of all that crap it's been holding on to for so long, because it's been like, oh my God, I don't know when I'm going to get nutrients again. Like, I better hold on to this, whatever it is. Like, I'm not letting it go, right? So when we start to flood the body, it naturally begins to detoxify itself. And then we have a deep dive 10-day transformation that goes in and really cleans out the system, including the toxins that are found in the deepest layers of fat, the fat layers, which are often extremely old. So, and then the third piece is the gut microbiome. So our 30-day protocol is actually specifically designed, and the protocol is called the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation. This is actually specifically designed to chelate out and remove the glyphosate that's in the body, and it has been clinically studied to show that it takes out 74% of the glyphosate in your body within 6 weeks of using it. And this is like revolutionary. We have tons of testimonials. We're not going to go too deep, and I'm going to try to keep it a little tight here. But if you want more information about what is going on, like how this is impacting people, we have websites, we have tons. You can ask the person who sent you here, and they can get you all kinds of more information. So this is kind of we're setting the stage here of who we are, what we do. And then I'm going to ask a very, very dear sister of mine, Rachel, to please come to the mic. Rach, are you here?
Hello.
Hey, beautiful. So Rachel is an incredible friend of mine. She is, she's a very dynamic woman. She's all about creating an impact that is in alignment with her values. And she has also touched the lives of many, many tens of thousands of people. And she's an incredible businesswoman. So Rach, I'd love for you to come and share with us a little bit about your story of the past six and a half years, and kind of what your background is and how you found Purium.
Okay, thank you. It's so great to be here. I love the way you just shared all that information. It was so potent. And even though I've heard these different things at different times, just like the way you present it is just so right on. And it really conveys the mission of what we do and the heart of what we do. And I just want to say thank you for introducing this to me. This has completely radically changed my life. It completely transformed my health and has completely transformed my finances. I never imagined in a million years ago, 7 years ago, I could have never imagined where I am here today. When you and I were roommates back in the day in Kauai, I couldn't even believe, I wouldn't have not even been able to fathom where I would be today. So thank you. And just to give everyone a little bit of a background, prior to 7 years ago, I was a wedding photographer and I was working on Kauai. I was working all over, actually all over the world and internationally. And I had, it was very glamorous life. I was, living and staying at a lot of really fancy hotels, but it was very stressful. I had to be on all the time. And there's just, if anyone's ever been an entrepreneur before and you know the work that it takes, the hustle kind of having a business, drop me a 5 in the comments, because I was working really hard and I was overwhelmed to the point that I made myself sick. So traveling, planes, being on 10 hours a day, always trying to like find clients. And then anytime I would get sick or something would happen, if I stopped, I wouldn't be able to make money. So, if you own a business, you know that when you stop, the income stops. Unless you have a business model like this is, where the money is coming in and you have created a passive income, which is what Sarah and I have created. And Sarah's been such a wonderful mentor for me in learning how to create passive income with this model. So I made myself sick. And so I was sick for 9 years with Hashimoto's, autoimmune disorder of the thyroid, and exhausted, adrenal fatigue, weight gain, constipation, sorry, TMI, but this is the truth, because the gut health is where it all begins. And so that's an important key element. And just brain fog and just feeling like I was in the twilight zone to the point that I was barely able to work. And this was really scary because I started dwindling through my savings. And then pretty soon I was barely functioning. And, to make a long story short, I made a prayer. I said, God, help me. I need to find a way to earn income. And I'm also sick and tired of being sick and tired. I can't do weddings anymore. I'm looking for something else. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to get out of the way. I'm just going to pray and get out of the way. Okay, that could be a mantra, pray and get out of the way, So I made a decision that I was going to get well that year. And that decision was so strong in me that it just appeared. And I was really shocked that it appeared in the form of Sarah tagging me in someone's post, sharing me, oh, look at this woman's transformation. And I said, wow, I could use that. But I also, when I got on the phone with her and talked to her, I just had a feeling. I said, is there, a way to earn income doing this? Because I just saw how that easy that was. I was online and all of a sudden I'm here talking to you. I clearly want the product. Everyone needs to detox. All my friends, all my family, everyone has some kind of health stuff or could use more energy or more sleep. And this is something I'd like to share. I just knew right away, this is something that I would want to share. And so I decided to take advantage of this business opportunity. And I could see the benefit of working from the couch. Hello, I was sick and tired. I'm like, I don't want to go anywhere. Can I just sit on my couch and do this and maybe talk to people on social media or through my phone or, do work a little bit lighter. And so this is where I learned how to work smarter, not harder. So, it did take me some time to build this business, but the beautiful thing is that in a very short time, I was able to retire from wedding photography. Within 4 months, I knew that this was it. And I was earning income and I said, I'm done with wedding photography. I set it aside. I said, thank you. It's been a beautiful journey. I'm done. Let's move this way. And at the same time, my father and both my parents died. And I knew that this was an opportunity for me to do something meaningful that was helping other people and also helping myself. And I always say, what doctors are required to, heal their bodies first before they can work on patients? Could you imagine? Can you imagine that? So I literally, took this opportunity to share this with everyone I knew. And within a short period of time was able to, create, within about a year, I was able to create a very steady passive income that I was able to finally go to Bali and the Philippines and grieve. And I took a couple months off to grieve my parents' death and to meet my family in the Philippines. And one of the things that happened when my father died is I inherited the need for solving my family issue, the crisis that was happening on the Philippines, which was that my family was very destitute. So for the first time, I saw hands-on how they were living. And this was very motivating for me to be able to create income for them, to be able to send them money. So I've been sending them money ever since for the last 7 years. And I've been also able to put 3 children through college in the Philippines, 3 teenagers through college. And that has been incredibly important to me because I saw the potential that my family needed to be empowered and be able to offer to work in a way that was sustainable, that could also provide income for their families. So this is one of the biggest gifts that I can say Purium has given me, is not only did I transform my whole health, and I didn't even mention that. I went from being sick, living on the couch half time, to thriving, having so much energy that all I wanted to do work out. And I became a professional pro champion bodybuilder in a nutshell. So not only does this have the potential to totally detox your body so that you're working and at max performance, you're at peak performance, your body, I'm 49 years old. I am at peak performance at 49 years old, more energy, healthier than I've ever been since I was 20. Maybe even before that, maybe in my life. I don't think I've ever been this healthy in my life. And now I bring this to other people. And Sarah and I are, working together too, by the way, for anyone who's interested we've created this beautiful, with a few other leaders, beautiful mastermind of training in what we're doing. And so it's a perfect time to join our mission and have us really giving you some hands-on training in a community of amazing people who all are completely committed to making a difference on the earth, making a difference in people's health, and also helping other people achieve financial independence. So there you have it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Rachel. I was like getting chills while you were talking, especially when you were just talking about like having the space to be able to grieve the passage of your parents. And we live in a world that it really doesn't give respect to the cycles of life. And we need to have that space. We need to have, for our mental health, for our physical health, we need to be able to process and move in and out of the spaces of our lives. And our cultural reality right now is like grind until you die. And that's kind of like the status quo messaging, and where many people are. And so just to hear you say that, like for me, that was the most profound piece of your whole share. And I've heard you share this, many times, that it just stood out for me in a different way of like, yes, like we need to have the space to do the work on personal levels that we need to do. Parents need to have the space to be with their children if they want to. Like a lot of my story has been being able to raise my babies like in bed, like work in bed with my babies, or like even take time off. Like this whole past year, I've been able to take an extended vacation to move out of the country and like nap with my youngest, who I just turned 2. I got to spend so much time with her, because what the power of this business model is, it does really create a passive stream of income, so it can support us. And I want to kind of actually zoom out here a little bit and share, so how does this work? Like, we're talking about investing time into something that will down the line be able to give us time freedom. And if time freedom, for me, time is my most valuable resource. There's nothing that I value as much as I value my time. What I choose to do with my time, like that is the most important thing to me that ever. And having an income stream that can support you to use your time in the way that you desire, rather than needing to spend more time working in order to make more money, that it's an incredibly revolutionary and forward thinking modern business model. So I'm going to give you a little breakdown of how it works. And one of the ways that I like to visualize it and picture it is that it's like, those little crystal prisms that hang in the windows, that the light catchers, the sun catchers. Well, I like to picture this business model as like a sun catcher, and it's hanging in the window. And when I take my personal energy, I take my 24 hours in a day, I take my energy, and my background is in rolfing. I was a body worker for 13 years before I found this. And I would literally just work on people 1 hour a day, 1 hour at a time, like one person at a time, 1 hour at a time, with my hands, with my body. And there was no way for me to expand past the limit of how many hours I could work on people. Like I couldn't make a quantum leap on any level. And that really limited my life because I was raising my 3 children. My husband's from South America. We couldn't visit. We couldn't leave the country. Like we couldn't stop working long enough in order to do any of these things that were, on the next level important to us, especially just spending time together as a family. So I had, my personal amount of time and energy that I was putting in this direction, dollar per hour. And I made the decision, with my bigger vision of what I was desiring to experience in my life. I made the decision to pivot and to put my energy through this sun catcher of Purium. And what happens is when we add our energy to the system, it takes that energy, the prism takes that energy and it actually like spreads it out, just like those million dancing rainbows that cover your room when a beam of sunlight shines through this sun catcher. So how does this work? Basically what it means is that I can touch, when I was working on people as a body worker, I could only touch one person at a time. Now, in the past 7 years, I've been able to touch over 50,000 people through this business model. Now, in order for me to personally talk to 50,000 people, it would take me more than 7 years on the phone all day long like this. However, the way that we work with this model, I'm going to give you guys a little breakdown. I'm going to back up here and I'm going to spell it out for you so that you can really get the details, and then you can start to feel the energetics here. So the way that it works is this, that you are going to go ahead, reach out to the person who invited you here, and they're going to send you to puriumenrollment.com. Now you're going to use their code, and we work with an affiliate code. It's very normalized. It's something that, has become the way of the new way of doing business is all through word of mouth and affiliates. Advertising is pretty much dead at this point, and it's all about, the social interactions, right? So you're going to get your affiliate code. You're going to enter it into to the little box on this website, and you're going to order your protocol. You're going to order your package. And there's 2 options, the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation and the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation Plus Performance. I highly recommend the second because it gives you a whole variety pack of all of the best of what we offer. You get the full 30-day transformation, plus you get the athletes products, which are like, vegan champion bodybuilder over there. Rachel can be an example of that. So when you get your package, you're going to get your own affiliate codes. You're going to get an unlimited number of codes to be able to share with people. You can share them, person to person. You can share them on your social media. There's so many ways to talk about and share. And by the way, side note, we are the only company in existence that actually gives you points that convert to money for sharing on your social media. There's no other company that does this. We reward you for putting out there what you're doing. So that's actually like super cool. There's nothing else like that. It's a very revolutionary piece of how we do this. So you're going to get your code. You're going to get all the training. You're going to get to plug into all the masterminds. All the training is free. The community is here to support you. We embrace you. We lift you up. We're all, the levels of connection and camaraderie that we have here as a community are unprecedented. And so many people, feel extremely lonely in these moments of more isolation. And this is this incredibly stabilizing and beautiful place to come together and be together on a regular basis. So you'll get everything that you need to go ahead and start sharing. When you have people who want to purchase the products and become a customer, they're like, yes, I want to change the way that I'm feeling in my body. I've been dealing with this, that, and the other thing, and I'm ready to transform. Then they will become your customer, and you will get 20 up to 25% of commissions on all the money that goes through of everything that's spent using your code going forward. So if they ever reorder, you get the same commissions on that as well. Now, the way that the real amplification happens is through becoming a brand partner. So when you have other people who, and by the way, as I'm sharing all of this, if you have people who come up into your mind and like someone pops into your like into your consciousness and you're like thinking, oh my gosh, this person would be great at this, or that person, or I know this person just, you know, lost their job or whatever, write their names down, because people are praying for solutions. Humanity is in a place where many humans have been brought to their knees and are praying for ways to transform the trajectory that they've been on. So when you have people that, you know, that are in your community who are also looking for a way to move from that survival into that thriving, to create an online income stream that they can take with them to South America, or, you know, that they can unschool their kids or homeschool their kids. They don't have to leave and go to the office anymore, that they can work from literally anywhere. Then that person would then go ahead and do the same thing. They would go to pureenrollment.com. They would use your code. They would become a brand partner. They would begin to share. And then you would receive 5% of everything that's going on through them, but down 8 or 9 generations deep. So it feels to me a lot like a family tree, where we become, we give rise to these communities of people who are all united, and that are then touching and like creating hubs within their communities and connecting people into this community, into this mission. So that's kind of like the nitty gritty details of how that works. And this is the exact model that I have used to go from like a depleted mom of 3 paying my rent in quarters and not wanting to wake up in the morning because I was so riddled with anxiety because we had to leave our home and that I had just given birth in, and like didn't know where we were going to move to. Rents had tripled. And I realized I had the vision, I had this realization that going along this trajectory, I was going to be still working when I was 80 years old. Like that was the decision point for me that made me say, what else is out there? That was the decision point for me that was like, okay, great resignation. Like I'm resigning from this business that I built. Like this is my massage practice. Like I'm resigning from you. I quit. What else can I do that can really put me into the position in my life where I feel like I have the agency to make the big decisions that matter to me? And so when I, said yes to this and plugged in and embraced this path, over the past 7 years, I was able to retire from bodywork within about, sorry, excuse me, moving a lot of energy over here. Within about 6 months, I sold my massage table. Within about a year, I was at the 6-figure a year mark. And this past year, actually 2 years ago, I completely retired my husband from videography. He was a luxury wedding videographer, and that involved a lot of late nights editing and late nights filming. And, it was just really hard on our family and on him. So he's now retired. He hangs with our kids while I work a couple hours a week. I'm kind of getting back into it here. It's a great moment to be getting started because there's a lot of energy flowing, and, we're all coming together and really creating a lot of momentum in the community. But for the past year, I've basically been, like I said, enjoying the powerful benefit that happens when we truly leverage a model that's based on residual income and community. Because I can, and this is really going back to Rachel's share about like being able to process grief. Like I enjoy I need to have time to be a human on this earth, and to not just be like stressing and barely making it and worrying and always having to be on. That this is the power here is that we all work together And when you need to take some time off at a certain point, and this is, of course, like at the very beginning when you're building your business, like, you're not going to come in for a week and then take a year off, but that there does become a point where your income will continue on long after you do. And this is really the legacy element that we're here. So that we're here to experience, that we're here to bring forward. So I'm going to go ahead and pause there. We gave you a nice juicy download here. So much great information. I could talk about this, as you can tell, for many hours, and I have over the years. And I just wanted to really close this out here by saying that, well, first of all, the person who invited you here, reach back out to them, because they're an ally to you. They're an ally to you, and they're connected in with this community. And together we will be supporting you to identify and move clearly with action towards the life that you are here to create and experience. So that is what our role is. And your role is to simply say yes to the future that you know is here for you, to say yes to the dreams that call to you, to say yes to this deeper levels of power and reveal yourself, like speak your truth and be seen in this world where so many people feel like they have to hide. And we have, in a world where division has become so commonplace, loneliness, fear, we have a solution that can impact on so many levels the future. And I just want to take the time to thank you again for being here, and to invite you to take all the time that you need to find out and discover more. And if you are feeling resonant, and if there's anything here that really spoke to your soul, and if you're getting that feeling, like I was seeing a lot of people talking about chills, like if you're getting that body knowing, we're here, and we are so excited to welcome you into this community, into this mission. And I'm really looking forward to meeting all of your new faces, and we will be doing this again next Thursday. So feel free to invite anyone that you feel might benefit from this information, to share this and to support us to increase the work and the impact that we are having on this world. So thank you so much, everybody. So much love to you. Enjoy your day. Aloha.
Aloha, everyone.